So today, somebody wrote into me and they were having a bit of a difficult family situation. And basically, because of that, they were saying sometimes they feel guilty or bad for creating their life, enjoying their life, receiving more, because it doesn't necessarily feel like their family is coming along with them or that they're showing up and supporting their family as much as they should. And I think a lot of us can probably relate to this. Even if it's not specifically about family, I think we can relate to starting out on this journey to figure out what we really want in life and to start creating that and moving toward that and stepping into that. And other people in our lives are having difficulty, having trouble, or we're just not able to see them as much as we used to because we are carried in different directions by the different things that we are choosing and creating. And so, first of all, that guilt or sadness or whatever emotion or thought that brings up, that's perfectly natural, right? That's totally human. And I don't want to suggest that we shouldn't feel that way. In fact, the number one thing I would say about anything that you're feeling that you don't like to feel, and it's going to sound kind of counterintuitive, but try to appreciate that feeling as much as you can, because it shows you that you're not cold, that you're still here, that you're alive, that you're vital, that you're still connected to what you care about and what matters to you. So appreciate that you can still feel that. And you will also notice that whenever you're feeling anything that you don't want to feel, you think it's the feeling that's bad. You think it's the feeling that hurts. But what actually hurts is the resistance to feeling it. You go, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way. You start judging yourself. You start, making yourself more miserable that not only do I feel this way, but I really don't want to feel this way, and what's wrong with me that I feel this way? Or however it manifests for you. But a lot of us have certain feelings that we're just simply less comfortable with. And when we start to feel them, we try to push them away. We try to resist them. We try to ignore them. We try to shove it down with food or, any number of distractions that we engage in. And, I'm not here to come down on how anybody processes their emotions. But we would have a lot more ease and a lot more joy if we would appreciate those things when they come up and we wouldn't fight them so hard. If we would really say, it's amazing that I'm having the experience that I'm having. Because oneness is, right? And it could just be oneness. It doesn't have to be seemingly divided up into all these different people and all these different experiences and this crazy grand tapestry that we call life. It could just be everything as an energy with no form and no experience and no physical manifestation. It could all just be, one big infinite one. So celebrate as much as you can that you care about other people, that you care about your relationships, that you feel that way. And see if you can let go of the resistance part of it and receive even more and experience even more and create even more. A lot of us will see that our parents or our families or people we're friends with or people we're romantically involved with, we will see that they're not choosing as much as we think they could, that they're not receiving as much as we think they could, that they're not creatively expressing themselves as much as we think they could. And we will quite often feel bad about it. And we will sometimes put that as a roadblock for us creating more. Like we shouldn't have more because nobody else is willing to. And that's a frustrating position to be in. It can grow bitterness. It can manifest in many different ways. We each have our own unique relationship to the other people in our lives, and we each process and interpret their experiences differently. But ultimately, you got to recognize everybody has their own experience, and everybody is on their own path, and our paths intertwine and our experiences overlap. But whatever experience anybody else is having, certainly you want to contribute as much as you can and be as generous as possible and be as helpful as possible. But it's ultimately not up to you what they experience. It's up to them. But another thing I really want to say about this is a lot of us as kids had parents who, for whatever reason, motivated us to think that we needed to receive less. When you're a kid, when you're a baby, you're willing to receive basically everything. When you're hungry, you scream and carry on until somebody feeds you. Likewise, when you're whatever you want, as a baby, you've got no issue voicing that loudly. And most little kids, same deal. They got no issue voicing what they want as their experience loudly. But as you get older, consciously or unconsciously, intentionally or unintentionally, your parents will give you all these different ideas about how you can't receive, you shouldn't receive, you can only receive if you work hard. Whatever your family's belief system is, whatever your parents believed, whatever their parents believed, whatever that is, it's unique to every person. But I think a lot of us have had a universal experience of our parents letting us know that life is not as easy as receiving everything you want, as creating everything you want, as just having fun and joy and being blissful and everything working itself out. So, at a certain point as we get older, we're less and less open to what it is we really want. And a lot of us develop an awareness that our parents think they sacrificed what they really wanted at some point to have a family and to have us and to take care of us. And, I think a lot of people are not necessarily aware what they're signing up for when they become parents. And they give their kids a distorted sense of self because they just can't help but make it clear to the kid that they have given up the experience they really wanted in order to take care of the kid. And that's not necessary. It's possible to have kids and to have the life that you want and to have both of those things beautifully aligned. But a lot of our parents, we're not encouraged to know that. We're not encouraged to explore that. We're not encouraged to experience that. And as a result, a lot of us, we're not encouraged to experience that. And so what's interesting is you have people telling you that you should receive less, or you're going to receive less, or you can't receive anything you want to receive, or however they instruct you in the school of life. And then we start passing that on. we will think that life is about sacrificing for other people. We think that life is about giving up on what you want to experience and making sure everybody else's needs are met. We'll carry that distortion forward. And there's nothing wrong with it, right? You don't got to beat yourself up if you have kids or even grandkids and you haven't brought them up to believe that life is all about the joy and the beauty of the experience, because you can change that right now. And, this person was lamenting not being able to spend enough time with their family members. And to me, it's like, it's not about the amount of time. It's about the level of presence. If you're really present with someone when you see them, you're really with them, and you really encourage them as a being to be what they really want to be, and you show them that it's okay for you to really be what you want to be, and you lead by example, that means so much more than just making sure that the time is high enough, that you're on the clock enough, right? Obviously, if you have children, that's not something that I'm experiencing right now, so I would not even come close to claiming I'm an expert on that. But, I have had people in my life, family and not, who I've spent a lot of time with, but not a lot of presence from either party, from me or from them. So we're in the same room together, but we're not really present with one another, and we're not really encouraging one another towards the full expression of life. We're kind of just together because we're family or we're friends or we're whoever, and that's what we're supposed to do, is be together. Whereas there are people who I've maybe only met once, or I've only spent a couple of hours with, who were so present and who were so self-expressed and who so encouraged me to self-express that I wouldn't trade that for 100 hours or 1,000 hours or 10,000 hours where we just hung out and we were in the same room together and we were just watching television and not saying anything, right? Like, that's great. That idea of quality time is great, but to me, the ultimate quality time is if I see you for 10 seconds, I'm really there. And I'm really encouraging you to be there in a way that carries forward into your life as long as you live, hopefully, right? Like, I've had people in my life who have had a profound impact on me because they encouraged me. And I didn't spend nearly as much time with them as somebody who might have been in my life for a really long time, but they were just kind of there. And they weren't encouraging me to really be myself and to really express what only I can express and to really experience what only I can experience. So I think the best we can do for anybody is to commit to our own experience, to show everyone in our lives that it's okay to receive, that it's okay to create, that you're not a victim of circumstance, that whatever your experience in life is, you can appreciate it fully and make the best of it. I think that's far more meaningful to me. It's just my perspective, but I really think there's a level of presence that you are, that only you can be. Again, oneness could just be oneness. You are here for a reason. And that is not a reason that has been determined for you by anyone or anything else. It is a reason that you get to determine. You are here for a reason, and that reason is up to you. And the people in your life may not have encouraged you to know that reason. Or they might have encouraged you to believe you had some kind of purpose that you didn't sign up for, that you maybe didn't even want. You're here for a reason, and the reason is up to you. Whatever makes you enthusiastic, whatever inspires you, whatever you're interested in creating as an experience while you're here, you being able to be that, to do that, to create that, to experience that, to receive that, will inspire everyone who encounters you. And the people who are not inspired by that are simply not awake, and that is okay. They're having a different experience. So, if you have family members, if you have friends, if you have loved ones who don't get what you're about, don't resent that. Don't judge that. Don't lament that. It's okay. You're different. They're different. Your difference might look really different, and their difference might look like more of the same. Everybody has a unique experience, even if it seems to be informed by a collective experience that feels generic. Everybody has a unique experience. And some people want to do what is deemed normal, and some people want to do something totally different. Either one is equally valid and equally valuable. But I think the best you can do for anybody is show them that we're all valuable as we are, and we don't have to cut ourselves off to suit each other. We don't have to sacrifice the reasons we're alive in the first place. We can be there for people. We can support people. We can show up for people. And we can still create things that they may not be willing or able to take part in. You know, if you want to be super, 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 super rich, but your family has never experienced that and wouldn't know how to handle it, and, you know, you don't let yourself go there, whether it's conscious or whether it's subconscious, you can still have the experience you want to have, whether anybody else will go with you or not. And, you know, you can still keep in touch. You can still be with them. You can still visit them. I also think, in my experience, this may not be the experience of everyone else, but in my experience, the physical presence is kind of, it's wonderful to be physically present with people that you care about. But at the same time, we live in a world now where you can be present with people across the world all the time, whenever you want. And it's easy and it's inexpensive. And I'm sure to a lot of people that's not like a one-to-one replacement. But I think it's still, it can be more present than we think, right? I have some close friends who I never see in person anymore because we live really far apart now. But I talk to them all the time. And I'm probably closer to them than I would be if we lived in the same city. Because I'd probably take them for granted, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think when you're physically around somebody all the time, it can be easy to take them for granted. If you see somebody every day, I think that's why a lot of relationships break down. Because you see somebody all the time and you start taking them for granted. You don't have to. You can appreciate them 100% all the time. And I hope and I wish people will make that choice more. Something I'm trying to do. I'm not going to even come close to pretending I'm an expert at it, but I'm trying to appreciate anybody I see now in life whenever I see them. And not let my own self-consciousness or, internal judgments that I have from a kid or any of that stuff get in the way of how much can I just appreciate this person who I'm sharing time and space with. And, spiritually speaking, as I keep saying, it's all one. There's no time and there's no space between you and anyone else. So, if you miss somebody, you're with them. They're here. And if they've had an impact on you, you're carrying them, even if they're gone. And it may not feel like that, because we're very invested in the human body experience. And it's wonderful. It's beautiful. There's a great video. I'm not going to be able to sum it up very effectively, and I don't even really want to. But one of my favorite creators in life is filmmaker David Lynch. And he died a couple of years ago during some wildfires that were happening in Los Angeles. David Lynch is artistically there's probably nobody that I admire more. And he had a school for a while, and someone was asking him, their father, I think, had passed away. You can find this clip on YouTube, I'm sure. And the answer he gives is just beautiful. That things are always with you. Even if it looks like they're gone, even if it feels like they're gone. The people that are really important to you are always with you. And I think it is healing for them. It is restorative for them. It is reassuring for them to know that you are happy. I always thought the butterfly effect as an idea was kind of confusing. But just today I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if a couple of people being happier could make everybody on earth happier? And in terms of my own spiritual journey and in terms of my own beliefs, that is what I believe. Do I know that's going to work? No. But what have I got to lose by trying? What is being happier really going to cost me or anybody else? I think a lot of us are afraid to create the life and the experience that we really want because we think somehow it has to cost somebody else or it's going to cost somebody else. or we might lose the people that we love. And I just don't think that it has to be that way. Maybe that is overly optimistic, but I just don't think that anything in life requires you giving up on yourself, on what you are really here for. And the people who really love you and really care about you, even if there aren't very many, or it feels like there's no one, those people will be along for the ride, or they'll go off and have their own experiences and you'll still be connected. However it shows up. We don't need to control that. It's a blessing. I think a lot about my mom. And it's sometimes difficult to think that she's not alive to talk to and to be with, but also to see what my life is. And if I'm honest, in the past, when I was not doing so well, I was sort of glad that she didn't have to be around to see me struggle in the ways that I did. And I had a very complicated and difficult relationship with my mom growing up. She was the most important person in my life for a long time. And that can make things very difficult because you don't want to disappoint someone. You want to live up to someone's expectations. But I know that my experiences in life are what they are because of who she was. Not just because of who she was. I'm my own person. And I'm my own person first and foremost. But she and my dad both made incredible contributions to the person that I am. And those contributions did not always look or feel positive. If I were to judge them in the moment, I would have a different opinion than I have now. But ultimately, you leave people with what you leave them with. And we have, in my opinion, 100% control over our own experience. But we don't really have any control over anyone else's experience, right? They process their experience how they process their experience. And as much as it hurts sometimes, we can't do that for them. We can certainly give all we've got to support them. But they're going to feel how they feel, and they're going to think how they think. And we can be as convincing and persuasive as we want, but at the end of the day, their experience is their choice. And what a blessing. What a blessing. I am so glad that both of my parents were who they were. And I'm also glad that I took what worked for me about the way they thought about life and about the way they felt about life. And I'm glad I was able to not feel like I have to take everything. Because I certainly have met a lot of people doing what I do who feel like they've just got to carry their parents forward and believe everything that their parents believe and feel everything that their parents feel. And I find from the outside that seems incredibly stifling. And I think it's wonderful that people care about their parents so deeply. But you can care about people so deeply, and you don't need to mirror their experience. You don't need to mirror their beliefs. You don't need to carry their baggage forward. So, I hope you'll just get curious about the force you can be in other people's lives. Without feeling like you have to live for other people. Or like there's something wrong with you if you don't put down your own desires, your own hopes and dreams, so that you can take care of other people. Because the truth is, if you really looked at what you really hope and you really dream for and you'd really like to have as an experience, you'd probably be in a better position to take care of people. If you were really present and you were really joyful and you were really aware of the beauty of life as often as possible, your ability to show up for other people would probably be greater. And I think we've got to be willing to inspire people. And I don't mean that like, oh, people should do what I'm doing or people should do what you're doing and you can inspire them to do what you... I don't want people to do what I've done. I don't want people to try and be anything like me. Because getting to where I'm at has been a freaking trip. I want people to be inspired to be themselves, to follow their own path, to go where only they know how to go, and not worry about getting where anyone else has got that they don't want to be. If you want something somebody else has, and you want it to be exactly the way they've got it, and that's really you, that really speaks to your soul and your spirit, more power to you, genuinely. But if you just want it because people tell you you're supposed to want it, and it's not really you, it's not really your expression, it's not really your life, I hope you will start to see the value in what you want, the value in what you can create, the value in what you can experience. Every single thing you experience, waking up in the morning, eating, sleeping, all the stuff you do all day, even the stuff that seems totally unremarkable and totally obnoxious and you wish you didn't have to do it. You're the only person who's ever going to experience that the way you do. And I think that that's incredible. And I think that that should be celebrated. And I hope that if it hasn't meant much to you up until now, I hope it starts to mean something to you. That you're here. That you're alive. And you're the only one of you that we're ever going to get. And as far as I am concerned, there's nothing for you to feel bad about yourself. We all have that stuff. We all have moments where we do not feel great about ourselves. And if you're having a moment like that, don't beat yourself up even more over it. Just know that whatever you're going through, there is just an endless reserve of joy, of vitality, of life waiting for you, inside you. It's inside you right now. And it's waiting for you to say, okay. It's waiting for you to say yes. It's waiting for you to say, I'm allowed to be this again. When you were a kid, you were so full of life. And the beautiful news is you still are. No matter how much you may have constricted that, because that's what you've been made to feel you should do. That you don't deserve to be vibrant, that it's not right for you to be vibrant, that how dare you be vibrant when everybody else on the planet is suffering, whatever it is. The world is not going to be any better because you shut yourself down, because you stopped dreaming, because you stopped wanting to be here. The world is not going to be any better for that. And if you have, you're in good company. I sometimes feel like everybody is there because, it feels like there's such little good news anymore. But there doesn't need to be. You are the good news. You're here. That's good news. That's the greatest news there's ever going to be. You're here right now. And there is such magic and such wonder that we don't even let ourselves know about. Because we're so caught up in very small concerns. They feel gigantic while they're happening. But in the grand scheme of things, in the course of human history, in the vast expanse of the cosmos, there is nothing we're concerned about that's as big as we think it is. Not a thing. That doesn't mean you should never be concerned. That doesn't mean you should beat yourself up for being concerned about small things. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that it is okay for you to put down the baggage. It is okay for you to release the burden. It is okay for you to be happy in spite of it all. There's a seemingly endless supply of suffering if you look around. If you want to go looking for suffering, you're not going to have to go very far. But you are here. And you are bigger than that. You are more than that. You mean more than all the suffering in the entire world. Maybe that sounds crazy. But in light of my own experience, that's what I gotta believe. That there is something greater underneath everything that has a vested interest in you living out your full expression. In my opinion, it does not have a vested interest in punishing you. It does not have a vested interest in judging you. It does not have a vested interest in making sure you follow the rules. It doesn't have a vested interest in challenging you or giving you trials. As far as I'm concerned, the energy, the all, wants you to be here, and it wants you to do or be or have whatever delights you. It wants you to be delightful to yourself. It wants you to understand. You want you to understand because you're one and the same. You want to be happy. Let yourself be. Any reason you've ever been given, you've ever come up with, to shut off your own happiness. Can you just let it go and receive even more? Of course you can. And don't ever stop. Keep being, keep doing, keep going. You're here for the thrill, the adventure, the ride, the joy of life on this planet. And however bad anything about it seems, there's wonder and there's magic everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's something to enjoy because you're there. So guys, I know this one was a little bit more dramatic than what we normally do, but I hope this was helpful to some of you. Thank you guys for trusting me with your concerns. It means a lot to me when you guys reach out to me and, whatever you need help with, as I always say, I am not here to judge what your experience is. If I can help you enjoy your experience more at all, that's what I want to do. And if you enjoy this stuff, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff helps out on YouTube. And like I said, you can always write in the comments if you have anything you want me to address. You can message me privately. And if you want to talk privately, we can just talk privately. I don't have to talk about it in a YouTube video. Whatever you guys want, okay? I just want to help as many people as I can because Lord knows in my life I have needed help. And I have not always gotten it. But that's okay because ultimately you can handle it. You can enjoy it. You can create it. You can experience it. You got this. Okay, everybody. Thanks so much. As always, so grateful for every single one of you, and we'll see you soon.